Hey, welcome back to Aircraft Adventures. I'm Liam Locke, and we're back in the Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020 edition Flight Simulator, part 2 of our trip from London Heathrow International Airport to Frankfurt International Airport, flying at our cruising altitude of 35,000 feet, about 270 knots indicated airspeed. And we are going to start thinking about preparing for our descent and approach into Frankfurt. So, based off of our flight plan, if you look at the flight plan, we have runway 25 left assigned to us at Frankfurt, and we're going to be flying the Unoko transition into the Unoko 2L star. Now, honestly, this has got me a little confused here because this is coming from SimBrief, which has the latest ARAC data, but my Navigraph charts doesn't have this particular star listed at all. I'm not sure what to make of that, quite honestly, so I found the star that best aligns with our easterly approach into Frankfurt. That's going to take us along the similar path that this star calls for to get lined up with 25 left. If we look at Navigraph, let's go to Navigraph. If you look here, so here we are coming in Germany. The star starts right here at Unoko waypoint, and then kind of zigs down, goes by to the left of the airport, and then at some point here we'll make a transition back to this MTR waypoint to get lined up for intercepting the localizer and a glide slope down to 25 left. 25 left, right? 25 left, yes. 25 left, correct. So that is the plan. To do this, we are going to need to look at the approach chart for runway 25 left. So we want to get some information off of it. Specifically, we want to make a note of the ILS frequency, which is going to be 111.15. The identifier, IFSW. Approach course, 248 degrees. And we have a runway elevation of 362 feet. And for our landing today, we'll be using a decision altitude of 562, and we need to be at 4,000 feet at the Ledecky, 4,000 feet. So we've got that information. Transition altitude, is that on here? It should be. Look up top here. Transition altitude is 5,000 feet. So now we've got some information we can start programming in our flight management computer. So we'll go back into the airplane, go down to the CDU. We're currently in cruise, so we'll go to next phase here. Not sure what our QNH is going to be. We'll need to get weather when we get a little closer. We can put in our transition altitude of 5,000. Decision altitude will be 562. We will be doing a full flaps landing. Our approach speed is noted to be 139. You see our flap schedule here. And we need to update our flight plan for our arrival into Frankfurt, so we'll go to destination here, choose arrival. 25 left is the runway that we are targeting or expecting to be assigned. So ILS 25 left. And Unoko 2L with a transition to the approach at the MTR waypoint. with that information set, we'll go ahead and insert that. And then we'll spot check the plan into Germany to Frankfurt. And that looks to be correct. Here's where we start our star. We're going to come around and looks like we're going to fly the star and disengage the star before going past the MTR waypoint and just go straight to MTR and then bank around for our alignment with the localizer and our descent down to the runway. So that looks fine. We still have a little ways to go, but we're set up plenty in advance, so we're not rushing around trying to do that when we get closer to the airport. Now, I've tried in the past to do a number of no-prep flights. This is, in fact, going to be a no-prep descent and approach into Frankfurt, so it might not go so well. We'll see. Look here, we're starting to be able to see through the clouds. It's interesting that I don't have any weather shown right now. Oops. Let me get this here. It's fascinating that I don't have any weather currently depicted on my display. Weather is enabled, so it looks like the clouds might be clearing here shortly. Take a look outside. Looked like I was starting to see some ground lights, but I really don't see a whole lot. It says the weather's on, but I think I would be seeing more than that. I'm just going to turn this off for a second. Turn it back on. Yeah, that was weird. So something happened with the weather display where it stopped showing us the weather, and all I did is just cycle the switch down here for the weather. I didn't look over here at the first officer's navigation display to see if it was still displayed. Interesting. See, is this like, if you look here, these little white specks on the glass, I mean, it looks like lighting from the ground below. I'm not sure what that is. Is that like, oh no, it's actually like scuff marks, or maybe not water, but some type of mark on the glass itself. That's probably ice. How much you want to bet that that's actually ice that's forming on the windshield? Now we are flying with air traffic control, so we're going to wait for air traffic control guidance to start our descent and engage our star to Frankfurt Airport. I've had some challenges with air traffic control giving not good descent guidance, so once I end up ready to engage my approach at the initial approach fix, I'm not at the correct altitude. I can tell you right now up front, whether it's incorrect or not, if we are not at that 4,000 feet at Ledekai, we will circle. Right, we will engage into not so much a hold pattern, because there probably won't be a hold there, and I don't know how successful the hold is working in the current flight management computer, but we will engage in a loop of some kind in order to give the plane time to get down to the correct altitude so that we can properly engage the localizer and the glide slope for a stable descent down to the runway. And air traffic control might actually surprise us. You never know. It's really kind of deceptive looking at that, again, that white ice that's on the windshield really does kind of, you know, upon first glance give the appearance that you're looking through the clouds at potential ground lighting below. Oh, we're gonna get some breaks in a cloud, finally. There you go. The clouds are beautiful, but we want to see some ground texture. After all, it's beautiful Germany. God, I can't wait to go back to Germany. It's such a great time the last time I was there. Not a lot to make out from 35,000 feet, but the unique parcels of land, right? It's different than what you're accustomed to seeing in the United States. The United States is so rigid with its square and rectangle corners, and these are, there's much more, there are more curves, more flow to it. Take a look at Navigraph and see where we are in proximity to our star. So here you go, Navigraph display. Getting pretty close. Should be engaging the star here fairly soon. Would expect that once we get probably about here, maybe a little closer, we'll start our descent into Frankfurt. Alright, so we started our descent for Frankfurt International Airport. Still got a little way before we engage the star. Show you where we are here in Navigraph. Alright, about where I suggested we might start our descent. I don't know if you can hear that. I love the whoosh of the wind when you're outside the aircraft. It's like a little gale of a wind. I was just observing that was a little bit of an unusual hard right there. Flight plan's got a little bit of a bank in it, and the plane flew it a little wide and is now countering to get back on course. It looks like we'll have another of those coming up at the waypoint DF401. Alright, FMA altitude star getting ready to engage 23,000 feet. Should get further guidance from air traffic control to continue our descent down to a lower altitude, I'm hoping. One thing, while we're waiting on that, we'll take a quick look at the radio navigation for our ILS approach to 13,000, okay. That's expected and actually per the star.
13,000 feet, load down to 1024.
So continuing our descent down to 13,000 feet. That's what the star actually calls for. We'll go back and take a look at the CDU for radio navigation. ILS frequency 25 left is being entered as 111.15, and we did annotate that that is the correct frequency. The identifier for the ILS will be IFSW, and the approach course from the chart is 248 degrees, but the course in the flight management computer says 250. Not something we can change, so again, we just kind of make an observation that for like the 5th or 6th airport in a row, the course entry is constantly wrong. It's wrong. Yeah, it's wrong. Let's take a look outside again. Descending through 20,000 feet for flight level 13,000. Spot check of our fuel. We should have more than enough fuel on board for this flight. Yep, still 5,900 kilograms of fuel, not an issue. So descending at 2,200 feet per minute, down through approaching 17,000 feet. Looks like we're going to be swinging out wide here. So the flight plan's doing some funky things with these corners. So we just
and maintain 5,000 feet. Expect ILS runway at 25 left approach via Mike Tango Romeo. Transition cleared to Mike Tango Romeo. Lufthansa 1024.
Now, one thing, we're leaving our flight plan and it looks like it's heading directly to the airport, which is no good. Let's look here, see what we got going on. So we're going to manually take control of the aircraft for a second and bring it back to our flight plan, back here to the left, because we are off our flight plan and I need to re-engage a correct waypoint. Flight plan. We need to go to MTR. Let's see if it'll let me do this. TR, I'm going to just put it up here. And it's not allowing me to edit or to insert it for some reason. We're going to continue our turn here some more. We're going... Yeah, look, it was heading straight for the runway, which that's not correct. So automation is acting a little funky once again, but we'll deal with it. I'm going to cut a little harder. I want to get over to this line rather than head directly for it. Not cooperating with my addition. Hear this. Yeah, I don't like that I can't get it to recognize the waypoint that I want to travel for. So we're going to fly this, it looks like, relatively manually until we engage the localizer. So we can see the flight plan on the navigation display. We'll start to turn back towards it here. So it looks like both of these are highlighted, to be quite honestly, even though the navigation display or the flight management computer is not showing MTTR as the active waypoint. Continue our turn back for MTTR. We'll see if we can't get lined up with that. I'm curious if we engage... We'll get straightened out here, see if the plane makes a hard bank. 9,000 feet, we're slowing down. I'm going to engage a speed brake just to slow us down a little bit faster. 10,000 feet, we need to pay attention to everything else that's going on, so we need to get landing lights turned on. We want to get set up for landing while we've got an opportunity to think about that, so medium brakes. We need to put seatbelt signs on. Because who the hell knows what's going to happen right now. Let's see what happens if we re-engage the flight management computer. Nope, the plane wants to turn. That is a no-go. We are not going to do that. So we're definitely not correctly following the waypoint right now. We'll continue on to MTTR, continue our descent down to 5,000 feet. The airport was just out beside us. Let's look back this way. I believe that's the Frankfurt airport back over there. So we're going to fly past it here a little ways and then we'll end up coming back. But look at the lights below. I love it. The communities here in Germany, this little suburb areas, the street lights. Great, great. 7,000 feet, we're slowing down again. Air brake is still out, so the plane is decelerating. We need to continue our descent down to 5,000 feet. We also should get lower guidance because recall that Ledecky is where we need to be at 4,000 feet, ideally to engage the localizer. We've dropped down to a green dot speed. Bring the...
Lufthansa 1024, please expedite your descent to 5,000 feet.
We're working on it. Now the actual star has us able to fly beyond the MTTR waypoint, so we're going to fly by it and probably come back to it to give ourselves time to continue our descent down to 5,000 feet. Because we're not going to get additional guidance from air traffic control until we reach 5,000 feet. Everything looks pretty good so far. I'm gonna adjust course here just a little bit to get more on track with the path of the star before we make a, I think we'll make a hard left-hand turn to come back around to MTTR. Got to take a few moments to enjoy the scenery. After all, that is why, one of the reasons why we are up here flying this aircraft is to take in the incredible sights. It's a nice evening, some red skies. There's a little tiny airport down over there. Adjust course here just a little bit more, come over some. What I'm doing, not just kind of making this up, I'm monitoring where I am in Navigraph on my other screen. So trying to stay relatively in close proximity with the star that I could have flown all the way to the last waypoint where you can double back and connect up with the MTR waypoint. Pretty close to 5,000 feet. We should get some further descent guidance from air traffic control to go down, hopefully to 4,000 feet. ahead and turn on our landing system now as we get ready to turn around here momentarily. I'm going to go ahead and engage the speed brake right now for landing. Going to start our turn back to MTTR.
Lufthansa 1024 contact center on 127.6. Going to 127.6 Lufthansa 1024. Center Lufthansa 1024 5,000 feet. Lufthansa 1024 center, continue to D159H as planned. QNH tree 0.03. Lufthansa 1024 contact Frankfurt approach on 118.505. 118.505 Lufthansa 1024. Frankfurt approach Lufthansa 1024 5,000 feet. Lufthansa 1024 Frankfurt approach, continue to D159H as planned. QNH tree 0.02.
So they keep saying D59H. Is that what I'm hearing correctly? D159H. No idea. Oh, that's where it wants us to go. So that's going to be where we're going to get our next probably descent guidance or close to there for Ledecky, where we need to be at 4,000 feet. Okay. Take a look outside again. MTR is our initial approach fix. We're pretty close to that. As we turn left here and approach MTTR, we'll go to flaps 1 is my game plan. Alright, we'll go flaps 1. We're going to make this work. It's definitely probably not by the books, but we're going to make it work. You know, if you can't rely on the automation, you got to take manual control of the airplane and, you know, put it on the ground. Still have not picked up the ILS signal. Continuing to monitor the primary flight display for that indication. So we're still at 5,000 feet, and I really am hoping for 4,000 feet call out here very, very soon. Primary flight display does indicate that we have the ILS capture, correct frequency, 11115, correct identifier, IFSW, that's good, so we can go ahead and arm localizer. Double check that I didn't get any guidance to descend to 4,000. I haven't yet.
1024 descent and maintain 4,000 feet.
Look at that.
Descend and maintain 4,000 feet, Lufthansa 1024.
Excellent. That's what we wanted. It looks like things should come together here momentarily. It's not going to... So it re-engaged the flight management computer. Is it going to turn? It's not turning. It hasn't turned. Oh, there we go. The localizer just grabbed onto the aircraft, and now it's going to line us up for the runway. Okay, we can work with this. Localizer capture. We'll go ahead and arm the approach. Ledecky is going to be the start of our descent to the runway. So we're going to go flaps 2. Runway 25 left. Glide slope is definitely alive and descending.
Foxtrot, Romeo Alpha, November Kilo Foxtrot, Uniform Romeo Tango Mike Alpha, Indian November. Contact Frankfurt Tower on 124.855 when inbound on the approach. Tower on 124.855, Lufthansa 1024. Frankfurt Frankfurt Tower, Lufthansa 102414 miles, east inbound ILS runway 25 left approach.
Glide slope is engaged. Excellent.
Lufthansa 1024 Frankfurt Tower. Cleared ILS, runway 25 left approach.
So 5,000 would be...
wind 166 at 8. Cleared ILS runway 25 left approach, Lufthansa 1024.
25 left approach, cleared. We are descending for the runway. Gear down. Flaps 3. So far, everything looking pretty good. We look to be aligned. Continuing our descent down to the runway. Got a pretty good crosswind. We never did set our barometric pressure. It would be helpful if we had that. Did they give that to us? 2962. What was that? QNH is 3003.
Lufthansa 1024 clear to land runway 25 left. Wind 167 at 8. Clear to land runway 25 left Lufthansa 1024.
Cleared to land. Flaps 4. Looking pretty good. Take autopilot off. We'll fly it in the rest of the way.
Above. Minimum.
Continue. Start looking down the runway.
60. 50.
long landing.
40, 30, 20.
Oh, nice and easy here.
Retard. 5.
Alright. Gauge your reversers. .60 knots. Disengage your reverser. Release the automatic brake. We'll roll out here. Wow. So a little bit hairy there, quite at the end.
Lufthansa 1024 exit runway when able.
So we'll exit off here to the right. I'm really not sure which way to go. Actually, I think that's wrong. Let's go up here. We're going to go up and get off the runway at the end. I think we need to get off... Oh, actually, that would have been correct. So we'll just go up here and get off at the end. Trying to figure out where I am here at the airport. Didn't plan that ahead. Hey, welcome to Frankfurt International Airport. Not bad. We flew the remainder of that approach in. A little bit of wind there at the end, but we were able to get it straightened out and made a decent landing. I'm happy with that landing.
1024 exit runway when able.
We used all of the runway. I could have turned off earlier back there, but I wasn't sure which direction to turn.
Contact ground on 121.705.
Contact ground. We'll continue out this way.
121.705 for Lufthansa 1024.
Hey, all in all, pretty good. I'm going to keep pressing forward here a little bit. We're going to go ahead and get the APU going, at least get that initialized. We'll come to a stop here momentarily. I think we'll hold up right here. Excellent. We get the APU started. Get our anti-ice turned off. Go ahead and brighten this up just a little bit. Get our strobe put back to auto and off. Get our landing lights turned off and our taxi lights turned on. All good up here. Look down. We'll go down to our TCAS system. We'll go ahead and put that into TA only. We'll leave that on. We don't need the weather on anymore. Go ahead and bring our flaps all the way back in. Ground spoiler is already disengaged. Looks good. We don't need the landing system or the flight director on anymore. We'll go ahead and contact ground as they requested on... What did they tell us? Contact ground 127.705. There you go. We'll request taxi to the gate and figure out where we are headed.
Frankfurt ground Lufthansa 1024 taxi to the gate.
Lufthansa 1024 taxi to gate Bravo 27 using taxiway Yankee 1 Yankee Lima November 15 November.
Taxiing to gate Bravo 27 using taxiway Yankee 1 Yankee Lima November 15 November Lufthansa 1024.
All right, we'll give this a shot. So get this off the screen. Take a quick look at Navigraph. Navigraph has us down here at the end of the runway. So they want us to go to Yankee 1, so that's probably what we're on. To Yankee to Lima. We're going to hang right here in Lima, go all the way down Lima to... Looks like N15. Where's N15? It's actually right up here, so we're going to come around Lima. Here's N15 here. N15 is an entry to this back terminal. I'm assuming that this is part of the terminal. I would think we would be going way up here, but it looks like we're going to this N15 and then on N. So maybe that's N15 is what we're turning on to get to N, and then we're going all the way down to B27. We need to see where is the parking. Where is parking? Chart. Parking stands east. Try that. B27. Okay, so yeah, we're going to continue on down N. So we're going to come to N, work our way all the way down to N to the little star, the first star section of the terminal, park at B27. So that is our game plan. In fact, we'll go back to the airport chart here. And we should be able to follow that pretty closely. So go back into the aircraft. And we will start our taxi. Get our outside camera set to where we kind of want it to help with navigation. So this is going to be Y right here that we're on. And we're going to hope that once we get down to our gate that we've got someone there to greet us, get us situated. We're going to make another right here onto L. Watch our speed. This should be L here. Cut over here. Couldn't read that sign, but this is going to get us over to N. Slow down here a little bit. Yep, N. Keep on going to the right. So this is going to be N that we're getting ready to get onto here. Different angle, get a better visual of the airport as we taxi in. I like the lighting. The night lighting at the airport is a magnitude of improvement over what it was in FSX. Practically non-existent lighting at the airport at night. There's good throw from the lights, good illumination on the ground. Certainly makes it easier to see things going on around the airport. Awesome. I like the way that tree is illuminated over there, that back corner of that building with the light, the throw from the light. Oh, I can't see it right now. That was cool. Should see on the sign we are still on N. It's a little hard to see. We definitely are on N. This airport apparently has got a lot going on. I'm starting to see my first signs of a little bit of stutter here in the simulator. We are looking for B27. This is the main terminal here to our left. What are you doing out here? Get out of my way, you knucklehead. So B27 should be coming up here to our left. I think it's where we see all of this various ground crew coming up here. We'll slow down just a little bit. See if we've got a marshaller waiting for us. Yep, I think that's going to be B27 right there. I don't see the numbers on the terminal quite at the moment, but there's enough activity there that I believe that is for us. Look at all this stuff parked in my way. You want me to come up here and pull in through all of this stuff. I'm going to have to pretend like it's not even there, but we will play along here and just see what happens. We're going to inch in here nice and easy. I don't know. You need to stop me here at some point. What are you doing? The plane's like bouncing all over the place. Let me look outside here for a second. I mean, the front of the aircraft is hopping around. I don't know if you can see this. I mean, I'm not doing anything at this point. So definitely something weird going on. I think this is a good place to call it. This is some weirdness going on, but clearly, you know, trying to leverage air traffic control and make your way back to a gate has been an ongoing challenge at landing in some of these airports. Clearly, I don't want all this debris in the way when I'm trying to pull in at the gate. You know, it takes away from the realism. The marshal are continuing to, you know, bring us in over top of all of this stuff. I don't even know if the plane's going to let me go forward, right? We could just, let's just see out of curiosity. Is it going to let me go forward? It would seem to not be happy right now, so it's not letting me move anymore. It's just fine. So we're just going to hit the parking brake here, kill the engines. We're going to call it a day. Hey, thank you for watching this video. I'm Liam Locke. This is Aircraft Adventures. If you like this video, click the thumbs up. Please click the subscribe button. Come back for more. And I'm sure in the future updates for Microsoft Flight Simulator, we'll get some of this garbage off the ground and hopefully improve you know, our arrival to the gate so that we can go through the proper shutdown procedures. But that's it. I will see you for the next video. I appreciate you watching this. See you next time. Bye.